What happens if you don't prune your tomatoes and attach them to the trellis when you're supposed to? This happens. I made a mistake this year, and I am definitely regretting it. And I don't believe I will make this mistake again. Instead of June, when I usually prune my tomato plants and attach them to the trellises that my husband and son put up for me, aren't they gorgeous? I had a lot going on. Life happened. Life happens. It does. Now I have a tomato jungle. Well, hello there. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I literally have to crawl through my tomatoes on my hands and knees and prune my tomatoes and get them attached to the trellis. I will not make this mistake again. I will prune and attach much earlier in the season. Okay. Trying to get you set up in a spot where you can see what I'm doing. Right now I'm going in with my pruners and just pruning some of the lower leaves off because they definitely shouldn't be this big, but again, I am way behind in doing this year. So these little ones at the bottom, you can see they're already starting to turn yellow and wilty, and that's because they shouldn't have been on the plant this long anyway. I should have pruned them over a month ago, and it would have given the tops more of the energy to grow up where we want them to grow. I mean, I still have tomato plants loaded with tomatoes, but it would be even better if I would have stayed on top of pruning my plants and attaching them to the trellises when they should have went up. Now, if you want to know what I'm using, this is Velcro brand. You can see it right there, Velcro brand. And it's garden Velcro. I used this last year and it worked great. I actually, when I was done harvesting and everything was drying up for the fall, I actually went ahead and removed the Velcro off of my plants and trellises and saved it, and I'm reusing it this year. This stuff is fantastic. Definitely vouch for it. So I'm just getting the different stalks of my tomato plant up to my trellis and getting it attached so that it has a chance to get some airflow at the bottoms of the plants where it needs to get them, and promotes growth upwards and better production. And I have issues between the Velcro and my gloves because the Velcro likes to stick to my gloves, but we're gonna make it work because this stuff is a godsend when it comes to attaching the tomatoes up to the trellis. I'm not sure why I seem to pick the hottest days to do this, but we're making progress. Okay, here's the beginning of the row, and as you can see, we're about halfway through the row, and that's looking a lot better. Yes, I know I have some that are ready to harvest. I will get to that once I can walk through this entire row, but progress is being made. Okay. We did make it through the row, as you can see by the pictures. I took a couple pictures and had to get out of the heat. So I hope you enjoyed and learned from my video on what not to do with your tomatoes.